Turning now to news from Africa. Rwanda's embattled opposition parties are uniting in their effort to challenge incumbent President Paul Kagame in this year's presidential election. They say that thus far the NGO Human Rights Watch has stepped forth as their only defender. Ann Garrison reports.
On Wednesday, February 10th, in Brussels, Belgium, Rwandan exiles demonstrated outside the Rwandan embassy against the suppression of opposition political parties in Rwanda's 2010 presidential election. Some held signs reading Twas, Tutsis, and Hutus united against Kagame in both English and French, the two European languages that compete, as European powers have, in Rwanda, where the entire population shares one African language, Kinyarwanda. Other demonstrators held pictures of Victoire, Ingabire, the presidential candidate of the FDU-Inkingi party, whom the Criminal Investigation Division of the Rwandan police was interrogating in Kigali, Rwanda's capital, while they were in front of the Rwandan embassy in Brussels. Also visible were signs that read "Liberate Joseph," again in French and English, and pictures of Joseph Nawangundi, Mrs. Ingabire's aide, who was arrested several days after the two of them had tried to register their party in the upcoming election. Human Rights Watch issued a news release titled "Rwanda End Attacks on Opposition Parties," stating that opposition party members are facing increasing threats, attacks, and harassment in advance of Rwanda's August 2010 presidential election, and urging the government to investigate all such incidents and ensure that opposition activists are able to go about their legitimate activities without fear. The BBC, AFP, Reuters South Africa, Afro News, and Africa Online all reported the Human Rights Watch news, and BBC World Service Radio interviewed Human Rights Watch researcher Karina Tertsakian on the 10th and Mrs. Ingabire on the 11th. As of February 15th, neither the New York Times nor the Washington Post had taken note of it. Dr. Peter Erlinder, law professor and lead defense counsel for the International Criminal Tribunal on Rwanda, said that this was no surprise because under President Kagame, the Rwandan army serves as the Pentagon's African proxy in Iraq, Somalia, Sudan, DR Congo, and wherever else the U.S. needs military force in Africa. On the morning of February 15th, I spoke to Victoire Ingabire by phone from San Francisco to Kigali, where she said that she has been ordered to appear before the Rwandan Criminal Investigation Division on Tuesday, February 16th, and that she does not know whether she will be jailed this time or whether the authorities will simply prevent her from campaigning by calling her in for constant interrogation. They're going to keep you in the police station instead of campaigning every day.
Yes, now I have tomorrow to go there. I don't know if they let me come back home or if they will put me in the jail.
And what about the U.S. press? I know you've been on the BBC. The Human Rights Watch report was covered by Reuters, the BBC, and Agence France Presse. Has anyone from the U.S. press contacted you?
No, there's no media from U.S. who contact us. No, not yet. You are the only, and I appreciate that.
At this point, Human Rights Watch seems to be the only international defender of the FDU-Inkingi party, the Democratic Green Party of Rwanda, the Parti Social-Imberakuri, and other opposition parties now united in coalition. Mrs. Ingabire called on citizens of the U.S. and the U.K., the two leading powers supporting Rwanda's ruling RPF party, to urge their governments to pressure Rwanda for a fair election year and an honest, monitored count of the vote in August.
And that report from Ann Garrison.